So good morning. I thought I'd do a little video today showing you how I crush the gemstones that I use for inlay into different projects. I use a mortar and pestle method. This is just a little steel mortar and pestle that I made out of a piece of metal bar and, well, two pieces of metal bar. One's got a hole drilled in it. That's what I drop the stones into. This one just drops in there. It's got some rubber O-rings there as a kind of seal, because when you bang it down sometimes little shards can go flying out and I don't want them to go everywhere. I want to contain them as best as I can. So that's my little mortar and pestle stone crusher, for want of a better word. This is my grading process. A lot of the terminology that I'll use in the video people may not understand. A lot of people will, but there may be some who don't, so I'm just kind of using the words that I'm using for the people that don't know what I'm doing to understand the process. This is just a little grading system where you classify the stones that you crush down. When I say classify, that means you class them down into different sizes. I'm not going to be specific about the actual size the stones are, because that doesn't really matter. It's just the process of crushing them, pouring them through this sieve system to make it easier. A sieve system with different sized mesh which allows different sized grits to fall through. The lower one will be fine powder, which will go into this little cup here. The next one up will be contained into that mesh there, which is really fine, and the first one is slightly bigger. It's about 1.5 millimeters, that mesh there. So that's the sort of size of stones that will be allowed to go through into the next mesh, and anything up above that I can pick the larger ones out that I don't want to use and classify them again, or leave them for different projects, bigger things that maybe need bigger pieces of stone chips in the inlay that I'm doing at the time. Right, so what sort of stones are we talking about? So here's a little box with a few little stones in it. What I'm going to do today is, let me see, I think I'll do, have a look. I could have prepared this earlier. I'm just not sure what one to do for the best effect for your benefit, is what I mean. Right, so see if I've got a bit of malachite that's already partially broken somewhere. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do malachite. I'm going to do something called galena, right? Now galena is basically lead sulfate. You know, that's where your lead comes from. It's also where silver comes from. So what they do is they mine galena, then they process it and they make silver and lead. So this is a piece of galena. I'll show you a piece of galena. Now galena, from my point of view, is one of my favourites. It's not a kind of, it's not like opal or anything like that. It's just a rough stone. I'll show you a bit of galena, right? This is a piece of rough galena, right? It's been mined out the ground. It's got some crusts on the outer side of it. That before I process that, I would clean that off, because I don't want the gritty, dusty bits in what I'm using as inlay. You know, it's okay. Like if I'm going to use this part, this little bit here, right? It's got a little bit there. I can maybe try and brush that out, but it's not going to make much difference really on this part. Right, so I've got a bit of a sore throat, so please forgive me if I keep coughing. This is a piece of galena, right? Lead oxide, or sorry, lead sulfate. But when you break this up, it looks, I don't know, it just looks amazing. It's like a mirror finish, you know. Right, so what we do is, I would drop it into that little mortar, and then I'd put that little plunger on the top. Now I don't want to belt it too hard with a hammer, because galena is quite, it's a soft metal. When I say soft, I don't mean malleable, I mean brittle. When I say soft, I mean brittle. You know what I mean? It'll break quite easily, and it breaks like shards, right? So I'll show you. Hopefully this will break just by doing this. Right, I've just done that there. Oh, if I can hit it properly. Oh, told you it kind of jumps out if you don't be careful. It's all over the place now, those little bits. And I don't want to lose them because they look brilliant. But I'll collect all them up afterwards. That's why I used a white sheet, so that I can see any particles that break off. Right, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a knock, right? But I'm going to put, first of all, I'm going to put my little O-ring setup. Sorry, my little O-ring setup down. So as anything like that happens again, it's going to allow it to just get hit that and bounce back down. Let me find a little mallet, a little hammer. Sorry. Right, I'll take this little ball peen hammer, right? I don't want to, as I say, I don't want to go hitting it too vigorously because I don't want it to completely make dust and powder. I want some big bits, and I want you to see the effect of it. Right, so I'm going to give it a knock. Right, that'll do just for a moment. I'll have a look inside and see what effect we've had. Right, so I'll give it one more little tap. Give it a little shake first. And that's only 2 little taps I've given that, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'll take my little sieve classifier, all the terminology for you. Right, so I'll take my little sieve, I'm going to tip it into that, and as you can see, I'll show it before I shake it. As you can see, there's big bits, but look at the glisten off of the galena. Look how it shines and it glistens, and you wouldn't think that when you first look at it. It's got a lovely kind of mirror effect, a bit like mica type of thing, you know what I mean? Really nice. Right, so then what I'll do is I'll just give it a bit of a tap like that, a little shake. So what that's left me with on the top is these slightly bigger pieces, you know. A couple of those really bigger ones I'll take out and they'll be kind of processed again, like. But just look at how the mirror effect of them is. It's a fantastic material, especially if you're putting it into a ring or anything really, a pen or whatever. It just it polishes up like that. When you polish it out, it comes up mirror finish like that. It's amazing. Right, so then we'll take that off, put that down there for a second, and you come to the second screen, and when you look at the second screen there, you see you've got all those little bits there, look like glitter. It looks just like glitter. I don't know if I'm trying to move it about a bit to let you see it a little bit better. But yeah, so that's that. That's sort of the second stage, I suppose, where I'm going to just shake that a little bit now as well. Just shake it side to side, nothing too vigorous, just to allow what wants to go through the screen to go through the screen. And that'll do there, see it? So now, I'll take that off, put that there for a second. And I don't know if you can see that in there, but when you look inside there, let me get it right, you've got like fine powder, like, I mean really fine. Can you see that there? It's really fine powder. I mean, the more you do, obviously you're going to, depending on your volume you want and how much, you do a few bits, or you crush that right down. If you want more of the fine stuff, you crush it a lot more, and then you get that out of there. But this is just to show you the process that I use to classify my stones, and that is the same process for every stone that I break down. Do you know what I mean? It'll be the same for opal or malachite or tiger's eye, or anything that I'm basically crushing down goes through the same process, and it leaves you a pretty reasonable selection of chunks or chips, however you want to describe it, for whatever your needs are for your inlay. You know what I mean? Sort of, yeah, it's pretty good. There's some, as I say, there's some larger bits there. Oh, where did that go? That's me a lot. I've lost a bit already. What am I like? I'll find it. I'm sure I'll find it. But yeah, so it comes up like that. See it? When it breaks down, it comes up like as if it's faceted a little bit, for want of a better word. It looks like a facets. You know, there is a technical name for it. I just can't remember what it is. It's how they describe it in geological terms. But yeah, this is just how I look at it. It's just a kind of faceted looking little shiny stone. Looks a bit like mica. But that's where your silver and your lead comes from. There you go. Now, I need to try and find a bit I dropped, but I'm not quite sure what way it went. Yeah, maybe somewhere on here, somewhere. Don't know. But there's a little look at my little stone tray. There's various different stones already done and things like that. I also go through them and I pick out small stones that have already been tumbled in a tumbler. So that's tiger's eye in that little vial there. So if I'm laying out a ring and I want a tiger's eye on there, then I'll pick out the appropriate size, lay it in the ring, and then, you know, infill it with dust that I've made from tiger's eye. Do you know what I mean? So it sort of like complements the tiger's eye, if you know what I mean. I don't know what that there's a funny light on the camera there, but I'm just using a mobile phone to try and make this video, so I don't know how, it might have been that little tiny bit that fell, but it just sounded bigger. Even that's going flying now somewhere. But no big deal, it's only a little bit, got plenty there. Yeah, so that's a little video there of how I crush the stones. When I'm finished crushing them, as I say, I put them into these little glass bottles here, little glass vials. Do you know what I mean? They are like a kind of medical grade vial. I got them from a big pharmaceutical company that we were demolishing a few years ago, and there was thousands of them all over the place. And I just picked a box of them up and just took the box up because I knew I had a job for them, like, you know. And I just picked a box of them up. They were all going in the bin, all brand spanking new. Never been sort of. There's been no viruses or chemicals or whatever been in them yet. You know what I mean? They're just brand new in the box. Lovely. And it was a good find because I knew I'd have a good use for them, and this is it here. That's what I do. I put them into them, and it ends up a little bottle like that, full of crushed. This is what's that now? Hematite, that is. That's a stone called hematite. That also kind of shines up quite nice. Not quite the same as galena, but still comes up okay. Like, you know what I mean? Right, so this is all the material classified down. Now, typically I can't find my funnel, so I've had to just make a little funnel out of a piece of A4 paper Hopefully I don't spill it everywhere, but in videos like this anything can happen, as you know. So I'll just drop that in there. I'll take, I suppose it's typically too big. 1 second. I think it's just too big to start trying to hold it, so let me just cut it down a bit. Right, so I've cut it down to a more manageable size. Hopefully it will be alright. So I'll take the really fine stuff first. And I'm just going to, hopefully I don't, hope my hand's steady enough, just pour it in like that. It's really you'll be surprised. You think it's empty, but all that powder around there is fine, really fine dust. Some of it will drop out. Okay, that's that. And it comes out like that there. So that's a nice little vial of very fine galena for the infilling of the tiny gaps. Once you've done your ring or whatever it is you're infilling, you need some little tiny bits filled in. You just drop a little bit of that in there and fill up the gaps. Right, so I'll drop the lid on that one so I don't knock that over, because typically I always knock something over. Put that there a minute, and we'll get the next one. So what I normally do is tip the next one into this again. Gives me, it's easier to pour. So I'll tip that into there, and I can knock it about a bit, because in this little sieve here you get little bits stuck in the edge and whatever, stuck in the rim and stuff. That's good enough. I think I've got nearly all of it out, probably all of it. Yeah, cleaned out, that's alright. So again, I have to look at that and decide whether it's going to go through the hole at the bottom. It looks like it will all go through, so I'm going to just attempt to do it at that size hole rather than having to cut it to make it a little bit bigger. Right, here we go. Hopefully it'll go all the way through. It's not actually, I need to kind of wiggle it a bit. It's not actually going to, probably need to do it like that and let it fall through the, no, it's just a little bit too small, that hole, so I'll drop that back into there again. Pick all the little bits up that spilt out, and I'll just need to chop the hole a wee bit bigger, and that's what I do just to gradually increase the size of the hole for the size of the material that I've got. And I've got a funnel that's actually the right size. It actually slots over the top of the glass vial, so that the material just goes right down onto the glass. This is actually slotting into the glass vial, which is not normally what I do. But anyway, here we go again. Should go in this time, hopefully, with a little wiggle lid. That's it. That's all gone in. Happy days. Right, so in that size, there you go, that comes up like that, you know what I mean? Nice little vial of galena. And on to the last one now. This is going to be the most difficult one to get into the glass, because they're a lot bigger. The shards are a lot bigger. Oh, that could have went in the other one there. If it came out of there, it could go in there, but it's alright. We'll just carry on and see how it goes. I'll try and cut this so that it slots over. Give it a little go first, making it a little bit bigger, just I may get lucky if that goes in. Look at the size, it might work. It may work. Right, so that's just on the edge of the right size. We'll try it. Right, so drop that back in there. Alright, that's that. Here we go. Oh, that's when it gets fidgety. That's why the bit that I have that slots over makes it a lot easier. But I couldn't find the thing, so I just had to make do with this. It should work, hopefully. Right, so it's sticking. Oh, it's sticking at the moment. Some of it went in, but it's just because some of the big bits, it doesn't take much. I'm going to put it back in there. Some of the bigger bits, they're just blocking the hole. As soon as it gets jammed in the hole, that's you're back to the drawing board type thing. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and cut the hole again, and hopefully this time, if I can just nip it up ever so slightly every time, I'm going to try and get it to just slot over, not a bit more, to actually slot over the end of the vial. A little bit more. Well, I know you probably can't even see what I'm doing, sorry. I keep on forgetting myself and stepping back out of the way. Sorry about that. Try and move that a bit like that. Don't know if that's going to make any difference, but still. I'm trying to kind of, I'm not really consistent at making videos, if I'm being honest. I make one now and again, but I'm trying to make them a bit more often. But I'm not the greatest videographer, if that's the correct word. I am no Steven Spielberg, as I said in one of my other videos. I'm no Steven Spielberg just yet. Well, see, that there now has gone too far, because I need to try and bring it out a bit, because if I pour it in, some of the material is going to go down the side. Oh, it's going to go down the side of it and get jammed. I'll just pour it anyway. I'll just pour it anyway and just pick the bits up that don't go in. Do you know what I mean? Just the way it is. Give it a little shake, see if I can get it to drop in. Right, so I'm going to open it now and let it drop into the thing. Oh, it's because the vial's fill up, that's why. So I did manage to get it all in, but I've got too much material. So I've got a full vial of the larger stuff now, which is good. I'll put that away. And then whatever's left in there, oh, there's a nice big bit in there. I don't want to just smash that up, because that would go, I like the size of that. Right, let me see. Pull my tweezers out and show you the bit I'm talking about. I like the size of this piece, because I can maybe put that into a ring or something, you know what I mean? You can see it, it's a nice, shiny, flat part. So I'm going to keep that. I even put that into a different vial on its own, it doesn't matter. I've got plenty of them. There you go. At least if I want a big bit, I know it's in there, that's good. Right. See, they'll just fit, those bits there, I'm going to just put into the second vial, which is, see, there's too much in that one. Can't get any more in it, so that's good. I'll leave that there. See what size these are? No. No, I'm going to just put them into that. So I'll just put them into that same one. And that's okay, I'll just put them in there. That's good enough. Right, so just lifting it up like that, chucking it up a bit. and that is allowing it to drop in. See, nothing there, but I've got a little start of the next one there, do you know what I mean? That's all good. Happy days with that one. Put the lid on that. So that's how I'm probably waffling on quite a bit, just because I'm concentrating what I'm doing and trying to speak to you to the camera at the same time. Well, to be honest, hopefully somebody will have got something out of that, do you know what I mean? In terms of the sieve system, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's Heath Robinson design sort of thing, do you know what I mean? You can actually buy commercially made sieves, but I've got the lathe, I've got the materials. Why buy it if I can just turn one up and make one, you know? It's just a little sieve in that there, another little sieve in that there, they interlock like that, and then they go into just a little beaker, plastic beaker, and that just sits like that. It doesn't even have to be tight, because you're holding it most of the time. 90% of the time you've got it in your hand and you're just giving it a little shake like that. Take the top one off, have a wee look. Do you know what I mean? See what I was saying about remnants being left in? If you look at this now, yeah, inside there are still some little remnants of galena in there, do you know what I mean? So I don't want to waste it, I want to save it. So where's my sheet of paper? I have a sheet of A4, or bigger, there's a bigger bit there, I'll use that bit there. All I'll do is turn it over like that. Is that a piece there? Yeah. All them little bits there, give that a little rub, a little flick, get it all out. I know it's only crumbs, but that's what I work with for the crumbs, so that's the medium I'm using. So what's the point of throwing it away when I can just throw it into that little tub? Get this plastic vial. That's the last little bits of the material there. That's not a bit, put that away. And I know it's not much, but every little bit counts. Just got to find the right one that would go into. I would say that's the fine one. Where are you? If I can find it. Right, I've just put it in here as well. Oh, there it is. Let me have a look. Now, do you know what? I'm going to put it into the second one in, because it didn't go through. It didn't go through the screen, which means it's the same size as these, or slightly smaller. But yeah, see if we can get that to go in there. They'll probably pull out the side, but yeah, here we go. It probably won't even go in, because I've made that, I made this too big. Let me just fold it a bit. Hopefully, I don't know if it's going to work, but just to try and make the hole a bit smaller again. No, that's not going to. Probably a bit boring, this video, for a lot of people, but for some it might be of interest. I'm just trying to build up a kind of video library. I've only done a couple, having said that, but you've got to start somewhere. Yeah, it's just, you know, just some people may find it interesting, that's all it's for. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to share your bits and pieces. Some people like them, maybe inspire somebody to start a hobby. Do you know what I mean? And give them, if they've got free time and don't know what to do with themselves. You know what I mean? Seeing something, not so much what I'm doing here, but seeing something that they might find interesting and think, well, I might have a go at that, see how I get on. I mean, you're never going to be brilliant at things straight away, but once you've done things a couple of times, you get a bit of memory muscle, or muscle memory, however you say it, and you get better at things. Do you know what I mean? You just persevere. Don't give up straight away, think, oh, I can't do that, because anybody can do it. It's just over time you'll gradually build up set of tools relevant to whatever it is you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Most people have got a hammer, a saw, things like that, you know what I mean? Various other things. A lot of the tools that you need, the specialist tools you'll pick up eventually. Do you know what I mean? But you can buy, if you're making rings, if you want to make rings, you can buy ring blanks online. I don't buy ring blanks, I just make my own. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm limited to some of the styles that I can make because I'm making my own. But it suits me at the moment. You know, you can buy various ring blanks with that have been made on a CNC machine. You know, a metal CNC lathe, and it's got all patterns grooved out in it, love hearts, stars, wavy lines, mountain scenes and stuff like that, and then all you do is infill those gaps with your stone and process the ring that way. But I just make them just channel rings, call them channel rings. I just make the ring and then I put a channel in the middle and I put stuff into the channel, whether it be copper, wood, stone, whatever the material is you're using. It's just endless. You can do it with anything really. Do you know what I mean? As long as you can fit it into that little gap and seal it and polish it, you can make it with anything, you know. But yeah, so it's as I say, it may be of interest to some people. Other people may just find it really boring, which is fine. It may just be my presentation that makes it sound really boring, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? I'm all right with that. But yeah, so I mean, for those who did like it, I'm glad. I hope you liked it. If you found it interesting, you know, I'll just do what all the other people say: like, share and subscribe, whatever. I don't expect too many people to like, share or subscribe. I haven't had many yet, but you know, I suppose you persevere, you carry on and see what happens. But I hope somebody got some value out of it. So that'll do for now, and if you have got any questions, feel free to message me. I'm happy to answer any questions. My knowledge isn't totally extensive. It's just, you know, if I don't know something, I'll look it up, same as anyone else would do, you know. I'm not going to try and claim to be this really clever person who knows everything, because that's far from the truth. It's just I'm not scared to turn my hand to things and have a go. And I think if people do that, they'll be surprised themselves to the things that they can manage to achieve. So think about that. Don't be scared. Have a go. You can only fail. You know what I mean? That's all you can do, and then try again. I've failed. I've got loads of failures, endless failures. You know what I mean? But you're going to have to. You learn by those failures. Do you know what I mean? And you learn by those. So you just move on and start again. But anyway, hope you liked it. I'll just before I go, I'll show you. Like that was the stones that I crush. But I also use stones that are already polished, pre-polished gemstones that come like this. Do you know what I mean? Pre-polished stones. What's that there? A bit of paint or something? Yeah, I'll get that out. Yeah, so there they are, look. Pre-polished stones. I'll select stones like that, put them in a ring, and may surround them with that galena or whatever, and then the galena will shine and the little colours will stand out in between all that, you know, so it's interesting. But yeah, that's the polished stones. I've got a fair amount of sort of stones that I could use. Just a quick look again before I go. I'll show you two types of opal. One is natural and one is manufactured, laboratory made opal. This is laboratory made, as you can see there. It's still beautiful. It's still got all the various colours that it would have in nature, but this is from a laboratory, quite a chemistry set up for doing that, and time, it takes time as well. So there it is, it's nice. And this one here is natural opal, right? You can't maybe not be able to see it very well through the little plastic vial thing there, the test tube, whatever. Let me just, hang on. See if I can put it into that little thing for a second, just to show you outside that little. I don't know even if this is going to let you see it properly, but hopefully you'll see something there, yeah? That is opal. I'll turn it and see if any colours pop up. But it's got green, purple, orange, all sorts. It's easier for me to see it than it is for you, I suppose. But that's natural opal. You know what I mean? So that's all the type of things that I put into various things, like rings or pens or pendants or whatever it is. Even if I'm making a little box or something and I want to just put something special on it, like, you know what I mean, I'll put a piece of opal. I'll show you something else what I do as well. I probably showed you this before, but I make little ring boxes, and I put for the bullet ones I put a shotgun cartridge in the end. Oh, sorry about the little flash there. I put a little shotgun cartridge in the end. Do you know what I mean? And that just pops open, and you drop your pen in there. I've not lined this one yet, but you drop your pen in there, and it keeps it, you know what it is when you need to find it, and then it just slots back together like that. So that's that. There's another one there. Look, this one hasn't got any. This one hasn't got any bullets or anything like that on the top, but it's just another little pen. That's just a little pen with a bit of carbon fibre. That's a Glasgow Rangers one there. But yeah, so that's that there. They just go there, swing it round till the grain matches up. That's a little. But yeah, so that's a couple of things that I make as well. But I can inlay them with some of the stones that I use, as I just said. Some of those I could maybe on the top or the side, whatever it is, put a bit of inlay in there. I can sort of put just. It's endless. That's what I'm trying to say. It's endless the things you can do. So just let your imagination run wild. You know what I mean? And don't worry about people judging what you do, because you're the artist, for want of a better word. Whatever you create, in your eyes it's beautiful. It's going to be good in other people's eyes as well. Some people aren't going to like it. You just got to accept that, but that's all good. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, that's me. I've done a little stone crushing video for you. If you want to see me making something or anything like that, let me know. As I say, I'm trying to build up a kind of little library of videos. I don't make them enough. If there's any advice any decent video makers can give me, please do so. I need all the help I can get. Okay, so I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to get enough people watching them, and it may be of interest. So there you go. So thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye.